The theme for the day is the sanctuary. As I said this morning, Jude 1 verse 3 says, Beloved, when I gave all diligence to write unto you of the common salvation, it was needful for me to what? Write unto you and exhort you that what? That what? Ye should be what? Earnestly content for the faith. Not just any faith, friends, not a faith, the faith. Definite article, the faith. Which faith? Which was once delivered unto the saints. Let me say it again. We are Seventh-day Adventists. I am a Seventh-day Adventist. I say it uncompromising. Are we Seventh-day Adventists?
Amen.
Is it uncompromising? I hear some grumbling there.
Amen.
There is a faith that has been delivered to us by our pioneers. And that faith was wrought through great pressures and trials and disappointments. And study, agonizing study. And that's what I hope to deliver to you. Not a new faith, the faith. Which faith? The faith delivered to the saints. So that's our focus this evening. Now, just a quick revision for those who came in and weren't here this morning. I'm just going to do a quick revision, just a few minutes. Let's quickly go into it. So we learned this morning that in 1831, William Miller and many others throughout the world brought forth the first angel message. Judgment is come. And we learned that they set a time between the spring of 1843 to spring of 1844 when they expected Christ to come to judge the earth with fire, and they believed the earth was a sanctuary. And they were at a little disappointment. We learned in the summer of 1844 the churches closed their door to the Millerites. And then was fulfilled, Babylon is fallen. And the second angel message went out. In August of that year, Samuel Snow brought light. Light, prophetic light. Where they learned that the antitypical day of atonement would have been on what? 22nd of October, 1844. And they set a time. But Samuel Snow brought that midnight cry. The midnight cry started in New Hampshire, Exeter, August 1844, where the message was, Behold, the bridegroom cometh. That's the message that looked forward to Christ coming October 22nd, 1844. And in just 3 months, the message belted the entire world. As I said it to you this morning, I'm not nervous about the message finishing the job. If God could have belted the entire known world, then in 3 months, with men traveling by a ship, what about internet and all those other fancy stuff we have now? So I'm not worried, friends. My word is the people of God. Not for the method God intends to use, but the people of God to what? Receive and what? Carry the message.
Amen.
So we learned then that they had a great disappointment October 22nd, 1844. They were right in the time, but they were wrong in the what? Event. They expected Christ to come and cleanse the earth with fire. But Christ had moved into another phase of his ministry. And that's where we learned that that day was indeed a day of great disappointment. So the day came, the 10th day of the 7th Jewish month, Tishri, which corresponds to our almanac as October 22nd, 1844. And we learned that God's people expected Jesus to come to cleanse it. But they had what? Great disappointment. But we also learned that this disappointment was prophesied. Revelation 10:10 says what? And I took the little book out of the hand, out of the angel's hand, and ate it up. Eating the book mean what? Eating the book means to study, to absorb it, make it a part of you. And it was in my mouth sweet as honey. So when they study the book of Daniel, especially Daniel 8 verse 14, until 2,300 days then sanctuary shall be cleansed, it was sweet in their mouth. And as soon as I eat it, was what? Bitter, it was what? Bitter. They had bitter what? Disappointment. So as I said before, they were right in the what? If they're right in the time, but wrong in the what? Event. Christ didn't come to earth to cleanse the earth with fire, because the earth is not the sanctuary. But Christ moves elsewhere. And we saw that the next day, October 23rd, 1844, Hiram Edson saw that Christ had entered the most holy place to cleanse the heavenly sanctuary. Now, we're going to go into some interesting stuff now. And he said unto me, thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. Revelation 10 verse 11. The topic of our discussion is prophesy again. Interesting word, prophesy again. 2 words. Interesting. Let's break it down. To prophesy again implies the mere fact is again that you must have prophesied when? Before. So if you're going to prophesy again, it means that you would have prophesied what? Before. That's straightforward. Alright? So, our sermon title is Prophesy Again. Now, second manuscript releases 20 first paragraphs. Listen carefully. And we're reading this to understand prophesy again in context. So listen up. Blessed are the eyes which saw the things that were seen in 1843 and 1844. Which 2 messages were preached between that time? I don't want you guys to guess, so let me help you. Let's go back. Which 2 messages were preached between 1843 and 1844? First angel and second. First and second angel messages. So follow me now. So let's go back now. So let's go forward now. We're building together. So blessed are the eyes which saw the things that were seen in 1843 and 1844. The message was given. Which message was given? The first and second angel message were given. And there should be no delay in repeating the message. So to prophesy again, what were they supposed to do? Repeat the message to the door. Preach before. Yes. For the signs of the times are fulfilling, the close of the work must be done. A great work will be done in a short time. So therefore, what are we saying? We're saying here that after the great disappointment, here, they were supposed to prophesy again what? The first and the second angel message. So let us reason now. Let me see if you got over reasoning now. Why was it important for them to prophesy again the first angel message? Because they got the date right but the event wrong. So they had to preach again. Prophesy here means to preach. They had to preach again the message and correct the what? The day and event had to be both what? Correct. Amen. So the message for us now is that what? First angel message, judgment is come. Yes. Because Christ has moved from the where? Holy to the most holy. Not come to earth. No. So the first angel message, by necessity, must go again when they prophesy again. Is that clear? Yes. Now the second angel message says what? Babylon is fallen. Now the first fallen we learned was where? Right about here in the summer of 1844, when the second angel message went out the first time. Follow me now. But the Bible says Babylon is fallen. So how much time Babylon must fall? There you go. So the Millerites preached the first falling. Who much preached the second falling? Seventh-day Adventists. Amen. Please, I'm going to ask you again and I want us to wake up. So let's go again. If the Millerites preach Babylon is falling, what must we preach? Babylon is falling what? It's falling. Yes, Adventists. Let's claim our heritage. Amen. Let's not be confused. So all of us here we have 2 responsibilities so far. We must read the first message because we must correct what the error the Millerites made. We can't say like what they said that Christ is coming to the earth to cleanse the earth with fire. In terms of the fulfillment there. But Christ has moved from where? The what? Going to the most holy. Amen. To do a work of cleansing the what? Heavenly sanctuary. So we must preach the first angel message. And we must preach the second angel message because Babylon is fallen. So we clear on that? Yes. All this sound prophesy again. Now let's go further now. I love Ellen G. White. I really do love the lady. The lady has so much insight. May God have mercy on us. We do treat her so bad sometimes. Listen what she said that is so brilliant, that put everything in perspective. Listen what she said. Early Writings 254, first paragraph. As, what's the word here? As, right? As. Is that as? Yes. As being, I mean, same time. Agree? Yes. We can all agree? Yes. So, as the ministration of Jesus closed in the holy place, and he passed into the holiest, and stood before the ark containing the law of God, he sent another mighty angel with a what? Third message to the world. So as Christ entered the most holy place, he sent the what? Third angel message. So here we go now, friends. So as we learn, friends, let's go back. As we learn here, follow me now. So prophesy again. First angel message must be preached again. with the correction in terms of where the sanctuary is.
Amen.
And when the judgment is come. Are you following me?
Amen.
Babylon is fallen is
Fallen.
third angel message went out. All three messages went out again. Under the prophesy again. Friends, do we understand that?
Amen.
So what's the third angel message? Third angel message went out October 22nd, 1844. You know why I keep on saying as? Because sometimes we must be confused. If it's as Christ moving the most holy place, he sent out the angel with the third angel message. What does that mean? The same time he went into the most holy place, the same time he sent out what?
Yes.
Third angel message.
Amen.
Because it's with the word ask.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Alright, so third angel message, October 22nd, 1844. We're going to read it now. This is what the message says. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God. So from as early as October 22nd, 1844, Jesus sent forth the third angel with a message that spoke about the what? The beast,
And
his image, and his mark. They want to spend the rest of the next 45 minutes to an hour discussing those three words. The beast, his image, and his mark. And here what we're going to do this evening. We're going to try and see how close we are as it relates to the beast, his image, and especially his mark. I really pray and trust by the grace of God that we won't be stiff-necked and rebellious people. I told you, I say it straight this morning, and I'm not saying because I'm being rude. I'm trying to join the people of God awake and alert. We're going to study this. The beast, his image and his mark, with the intended purpose to find out how close we are as it relates to the beast, his image, and especially his mark. Alright, friends?
Amen.
So let's stay together now. Let's not go, let's stay together and continue the study. Let's stay where we are. We're going to continue the study. We're going to start Revelation 13. We're going to spend our time in Revelation 13, verse 1 to 18. Revelation 13, 1 to 3. We're going to talk about the beast first. So the beast is what? Image and his what? His mark. Three things we're going to study. Revelation 13, 1 to 3. And I stood up on the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads 10 the name of blasphemy. Now I'm not going to spend much time on trying to, necessarily convince us of stuff that is standard Adventism that we're pretty much sure of. I'm going to spend time on the more in terms as it relates to what we need to understand as it relates to now. Are you following me, brethren?
Amen.
So what was the beast? We can all accept the beast is the papal Rome, the Roman Catholic Church system.
Amen.
Amen, church?
Amen.
We're not going to spend time and quabble about that. Alright? We're going to make it more advanced study. Now, let's move on. We learned that the beast was supposed to go for 1,260 years or 42 months. And then it's going to have a deadly wound in what? 1798. Is that standard understanding?
Yes.
Alright, very good. So we're going pretty fast. And here it is. Revelation 13, 3 and verse 10 says, and I saw one of his head that were wounded to death. And his dead wound was healed, and all the world wandered after the beast. And verse 10 says what? He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. The sword here is not the Bible. The sword here is the what? Civil power. Because papal Rome uses civil power to what? Punish dissenters. Is that so?
Amen.
So he that killeth with the sword is going to do what? Kill with the sword. So it's not the Bible. The people didn't use the Bible to kill people. They use the civil power to kill people. Are you following me, friends?
Amen.
So therefore, friends, in 1798, Berthier, that's Napoleon general, made his entrance into Rome and abolished the papal government. So see there, friends, Berthier is the what? Civil power who brought a wound to what? The papal government. Are you seeing that, friends?
Yes.
And established a secular one, Encyclopedia of America, 1941 edition. So we learned that the beast had a deadly wound 1798. And the deadly wound was inflicted by the what? Civil power. Are we clear so far?
Yes.
Alright, here we go. Now, so the Roman Church here said it rose up 1 to 260 prophetic years of reigning. and a deadly wound in 1798 when the Pope was taken captive by Berthier, by the sword, the civil power. Now, we're going to spend some time in Revelation 13, 11, and 12 to 18. To understand Revelation 13, 11 to 18, you need to understand it as two parts fitting together like a lock and a key. The first 11 is the introduction. You know, like you write the essay? What is the first thing you're supposed to do in the and my sister examiner? You write what? An introduction.
Yes.
An introduction is supposed to summarize everything that's going to be in the body, and then make a conclusion. Is that so you write the essay?
Yes.
Right.
Just as how they write it here, no difference. So the introduction going in verse 1, which is going to summarize everything that's going to come after verse 11, and in verse 12 to 18 is the body of the essay. Are we good so far?
Amen.
Alright, let's go into the study now. So verse 11 says what? Then I saw another beast coming out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spoke as a dragon. So he's speaking about a second beast now. This beast not coming out of the sea like the first one, but coming out of the what? Land. Earth, land. No, the first beast came out of the sea, meaning what? People, multitude, nations, and storm. A populated area. The populated area of what? Of Europe. Are you following me, friends?
Amen.
Now this beast now is rising from the what? Sparsity of the earth. Friends, are you following me so far?
Yes.
Now let's go further now. It said the beast have two horns like a lamb. No, horns, and I can't go too much of this because this is advanced study. Horns in Bible prophecy, we know, talks about power, principles of influence. Are you following me? So it's saying that this second beast that rise up out of the earth going to be established on how many principles? Two principles. Now what kind of principles are going to be? What? Lamb-like. So who is the Lamb of God? Jesus. So it's going to be what? Christian-based principles. This system going to rise up prophetically. Does that make sense?
Amen.
Alright, so let's look at it. Now Christ said something in Matthew 22, 21. And Christ gave the principle of the separation of church and state. This is what Christ says. So they came to Christ and asked Christ a question to trick him. Should we pay taxes to Caesar? What did Christ say? Give him one of your coin. What do you see on the coin? They say Caesar. And Christ said to them, render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God. Do you see the separation of church and state there?
Yeah.
Are you guys seeing that?
Yes.
So when it says this second beast is based on lamb-like principles with two horns, there are two horns. Give to Caesar what is Caesar, the state, but separate that from the what? Give to God the things that are God's. From that belongs to the church. So this system, this country rising up out of the earth, going to be established on what? Two principles, lamb-like or Christ-like principles, a separation of what? Church and state. And so it is we know that the United States of America is established on republicanism and Protestantism. This republicanism, it doesn't mean Republican Party. Republicanism in the pure sense means that the power is with the people. Friends, do we understand that? Republicanism is not a political term. Republicanism means power is with the people. It has nothing to do with the Republican Party. So let's be clear on that. So republicanism here is a one nation under what? God. A nation without a what? King. And because the nation without a king, who does the power that belong to? The what? The people. Are you following me, brethren?
Yes.
Also, next on Protestantism. One church under God, a church without a pope. So give unto Caesar which what belongs to? Caesar. And give unto God what belongs to God. Separation of church
And state.
Church and state. Separate arms. The arms are not together. Now which country are we talking about? Second beast is the United States of America. No. Very important for us to realize. This principle of separation of church and state is enshrined in the First Amendment of the Bill of Rights. Friends, are you following me so far? This principle of separation of church and state is enshrined in the Bill of Rights. Also, First Amendment of the Bill of Rights. Congress shall make some law.
No law.
Congress can make a law.
No law.
Congress can make a law when it feels like.
No law.
Does no law mean no law?
Yes.
Brother, sister, you have to talk to me this evening. Because we're reasoning together. Does no law mean no law?
Yes.
That's exactly what no law means.
Yes.
So, let me say for a reason now. What if there's a law that says every single church must do this? They're not showing no favor to anybody. Is that wrong?
Yes.
Yes, why? Congress shall make what? No law. You got that, friends?
Yes.
Friends, I want you to get that to know because a pastor one night argued with me about this point. And I love my pastors. Pastor Blake here. Pastor, I love my pastor. Don't misunderstand me now. But one night a pastor took me to task to that. And I said to him, Pastor, think about it. What if they make a law that every church must do the same thing? And it's not showing preference to one church. Is it right or wrong? He was confused. Do we understand what I just said a while ago?
Yes.
If you make a law that affects everybody equally, the law is still wrong. Because it says what? No law. He was arguing that Congress is supposed to make a law that favor one church versus another. But that's not the issue, friends.
No.
I know the reason why you must be careful with that reasoning. Because that time is going to come, which I'm going to show you soon, where a law will pass that's supposed to affect what? Every church equally. Now, are we going to go with that? No, why?
No law.
Congress shall make what? No law. No law to what? Respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. So Congress can make no law to say how you must worship and how you must not worship. Do we understand that concept, friends?
Amen.
I want to target a little bit because it's so very important. So you see separation of church and state here? Congress is the what? State shall make no law establishing what? Religion. So the church is going to be on one side and the state going to be on the other side. Can your enemy and the Lord join the two together? No. Why? Congress shall make what? No law. Give unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give unto God what belongs to God. So there must be no connection between church and what?
State.
Is that clear, friends?
Amen.
Very important point. So don't make anybody confuse your friends. No law means no law. No law doesn't mean that one law favor another law. Doesn't mean that. No law means no law. That's what no means. No law. Let's press on. Now, so the First Amendment is a separation between what? A wall of separation between what? Church and
State.
First Amendment is a wall of separation between church and
State.
Alright, very good. Now, the prophet says he's going to speak like a dragon. Speak like a dragon. What does speak mean? Great controversy 442, first paragraph says what? The speaking of the nations, the action of its legislative and judicial authorities. I want you guys to say that. Say that for me, please.
Speaking of the nation is the action of its legislative and judicial authority.
That's extremely important. Extremely important. I'm going to prove it to you why it's so important. So the Bible says in the introduction that this country, United States of America, which rise up on Christian principles of separation between church and state, will eventually what? Speak like a dragon. So it's going to make laws that do what? Oppose its very what? Origin.
Yes.
How did the church got? Who got that a while ago? Well, let's go one more time. We're not leaving here in the confusion. We want to make it super clear by God's grace. Let's go one more time. The Bible in Revelation 13 verse 11. Look in the Bible right if you want. It says the United States of America in interpretation is going to rise up, right, from the earth on two principles. Lamb-like principles. Is that true so far?
Yes.
I was saw in Matthew 22 verse 11 that Christ says what? Give unto Caesar what belongs to?
Caesar.
And give unto God what belongs to?
God.
So a separation of what? Church and state. But the same Bible in Revelation 13 verse 11 says what? And he shall speak like a what? A dragon. So speaking means what? Passing what? Laws that goes contrary. So legislate law and judicial activities in terms of laws that are what? Dragon-like. So they must be in opposition to what? The lamb-like principles that they were established.
Amen.
Do we get it now, friends?
Yes.
Are we clear on that, friends?
Yes.
I'm impressed to go one more time because I don't want anybody to leave here confused or misunderstand. Let's one more time. We got it? We got it? You sure?
Yes.
Alright, very clear. So, you're going to speak like a dragon. Well, that is the one. That's the introduction. We're going to spend some time now and go in the principle of interpreting Revelation 13, 12 to 18. And what I'm going to give you, friends, is no wisdom of mine. The Lord gave me this because He's kind and merciful, not because I'm special. I'm going to share what He gave me with you. And everything I'm going to say is going to be biblical. But I'm going to give it to you in a different light that you may not have realized this. What I'm going to say now, you may not have realized. So let's spend some time and see what we're going to realize. Let's look at this. Last event, space 11, verse 2 says what? The agencies of evil are combining their forces and consolidating. That means what? Coming to what? Together. They are strengthening for the last great crisis. Great changes are soon to take place in our world, and the final movements will be rapid ones. So there are going to be movements, and the final movements shall be rapid ones. So there are going to be several prophetic movements, and they're going to be rapid. Is that what it's saying? Yes, that's what it's saying. Alright, let's go. Now, I want us to realize something. Take your Bibles out now, please, or your iPhone or whatever you have. And I'm going to point out something to you that's extremely important in understanding Revelation 13, verse 12 to 18. And here it is. Between Revelation 13:12 and Revelation 13:8, there are 15 ands. There are no then. We got that, friends? There are all ands, there are no then.
Yes.
Now, what's the significance of that, what I'm saying to you? If I say to you, I am preaching, then I'm going to leave and get back to where I'm from, which is Palm Beach County. What does that mean? I'm preaching now, but what's going on afterwards? I'm going to go on to Palm Beach County by God's grace. That's follow. So the then there qualifies what I said before.
Yes.
So it gives a sequence of events. Agree?
Yes.
When you have and, everything is happening with at the same time. So I want us to, brethren, please, just buy what I said to you. Buy it up, friends. Buy it up, please. Because to understand Revelation 13, verse 12 to 18, we'll have to see that point. There are no, then they are all what? And. So at some point in time, they are all occurring when? Together. Friends, do we see that?
Yes.
Is anybody here who don't get that concept? So there are 15 hands. We're not going to have time this evening to look at the 15 hands. The Lord has blessed with an entire series with about 12 lectures just on Revelation 13, verse 11 to 18. That's a series one of these days that if God's allowed, God will come and preach it here. The series here. All that's about just the national son of law. I'm just going to focus on those 5 of the significant hands for this study that we're going to have. So, the events depicted between the hands are the final movements. You get that, friends? The events depicted between the hands is the final one. Movements. Yes, it's kind of hot. I'm sweating. So, friends, we got that point? So, the final movements shall be what? Rapid ones. So, the events between each of the hands shall be what? Rapid. And they all occurring when? Together. At some point in time, one might start before another, but at some point in time, they all what? Occurring at the same time. I'm going to prove it to you this evening. So, let's go back. So we're going to study 5 of these events and show and see how close we are to the great crisis, which is the study law. The final movements shall be rapid ones. Let's see that. So the first, we're going to start. Revelation 13 verse 12 says, and, see dear friends, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth, and them that which worship dwelling toward. Worship the first beast who tell you who was he. So we're going to look at this and here now, this event here, this final movement here. The deadly wound being healed. Are you following what we're doing? Yes. Alright, so deadly wound being healed. When was that done? Well, let's look at the San Francisco Chronicle, February 11, when? 19 when? 29. The Roman question tonight was a thing of the past, and the Vatican was at peace with Italy. In affixing the autographs to the memorable document, healing the wound, extreme cordiality was displayed on both sides. I think the rocks are crying out. This is coming from the San Francisco Chronicle. And they use the exact biblical word, healing the wound. You think that's by chance or God is speaking through the rocks? No, we must take everything by 2 or more testimonies. Is that so? Is that biblical? Yeah. Let's go to another rock. New York Times, July 7, 1929. Mortal wound what? You think the rock is crying out?
Yes.
The rock is shouting, friends, and Adventists are sleeping.
Amen.
The rock says what? Rome, June 7th. From 11 o'clock this morning, there was another sovereign independent state in the world. At that time, Premier Mussolini exchanged with Cardinal Gaspari, Papal Secretary of State, representing Pope Pius XI, ratification of the treaty signed at the Lateran Palace on February 11th. By that simple act, the sovereign independent state of the Vatican became what? Came into what? Existence. So the deadly wound came in when? 17? Come on, talk back to me. Came in 17 when? 1908. And we see here that the deadly wound came in 1798, but we see the wound started healing when? 19. Not fully healed. Starting to heal in what? 1929. So here we're going now, friends. So here's the first and. So follow me now. So the target here is the national son-in-law, the Great Crisis. And the final movement started the rapid ones. So the wound started healing when? 1929, the deadly wound was healed, army started to heal. Are you following me, friends?
Yes.
Friends, are you following me?
Yes.
Keep pace with me now, friends. I want to make sure you understand, guys. It's so important. We must understand. So we're saying here that the first movement is the healing of the deadly wound. And we see that the papacy got back their what? Sovereignty in 1929.
Yeah.
That's a historical fact. But it's a progressive healing power, healing. And it's fully healed when it once again controls what? The entire world. And that occurs in its fullness at National Son-in-Law. Friends, are you following me so far?
Amen.
Let's go forward. Revelation 30 verse 3. And, you're on again? And he doeth great wonders so that he maketh fire come down on earth and from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. So the second hand we're going to look at is fire come down from heaven. That's the next movement we're looking at. So, fire from heaven. In 1962, the Vatican II, which was a meeting of the Vatican Church, was brought into effect. Who have heard of the Vatican II before? Vatican II. I think people should have heard about that. Yes, the Vatican II was an important meeting of the papal power. Started in 1962. So let's ask a question. Did fire come down then? Let's ask them and they'll answer us. Let's ask them. They'll answer us. So Vatican II and the ecumenical movement. Ecumenism is what? People coming together. People coming together. Alright, that's what it means. So it says here, this was written by Father John Crossing, OFSS, appeared in Catholic News Service, Faith Alive blog. So this is from the horse's own mouth. The ecumenical movement has school for virtue. This is what it said. The restoration of unity among all Christians is one of the principal concerns of the Second Vatican Council. So one of the main purpose of this council was to bring what?
Restoration.
Bring the restoration and bring by the churches back in one accord in ecumenism. Is that so?
Yes.
Here you go. Alright. Now, this is what it says now. Another article says what? A different fire. The Bible says he shall call out what? Fire coming from here. From heaven. That's what we said right a while ago. Right? Look in the Bible, friends.
Yes, yes.
Version 13 verse 13 says that.
Yes.
He shall cause fire to come on from here. From heaven. Very good. Look in the Bible. Keep your eyes in the Bible.
Yes, yes.
So, they are saying, out of their own mouth, that during Vatican II, fire came down from heaven. This is what it said. Vatican II sought to respond to the fires of the death camps and the bombs by setting hearts on fire through a new evangelization which would enable people everywhere to see the risen Lord. Listen now. There is certainly the fire of hell, but there is also the what? Fire of heaven, which touches the earth at Pentecost when the Holy Spirit appears to the disciples in the form of tongues of fire. So they are saying Vatican II was a time during their new evangelization, fire came from heaven. Now the fire here don't mean literal fire. The fire means what? Spiritual what? Revival. That's what the fire means. Alright, you understand that principle, friends, right?
Amen.
So, after Vatican II, we start to see Catholic nuns and priests being slain in the spirit. There's so much more I could say about that. That is don't have time to talk about that. So the Bible says, and fire should come from heaven. And we have seen that, friends. Here, this is what the discussion between Kenneth Copeland, one of these Protestant, they're not Protestant, they call themselves evangelicals now, and the Pope. And nostalgic yearning that this separation comes to an end and gives us communion. Listen now. Pope and Pope exchange over Catholic charismatic union. So we've seen a fire of a false revival doing what? Putting all these evangelical church and the Catholic churches together. Friends, there's much more I could say, but in the interest of time, I'll press on. So friends, watch this now. 1929, the deadly wound began healing. 1962, the Vatican II fire started coming out from him in the form of this false revival amongst evangelical and the Catholic churches. Are you following me, friends?
Yes.
You see what I mean here, friends? This is occurring and this is occurring. Not then this is occurring. Did we get that, friends? Some of us not getting it. So let's go one more time. This movement is occurring and this movement is occurring. Not then. Are you seeing it, friends?
Yes.
Because at a point in time they're all occurring where? At the same time. And, not then.
No.
Let's go forward now. Revelation 34 says, and deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them. Now let me ask you a question. What does saying mean in prophetic language? We learned that earlier. All other nations, when you say, you speak, right?
Yes.
When you say, you speak, right?
Yes.
All other nations speak. By making what? Gotcha. You got it.
Amen.
So saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast. So the image to the beast will be made by what? A law linking church and state together.
Amen.
Are you seeing it, friends? Saying to them. Saying is speaking. We learn that nation speak by through its what? Is what? Laws. So law is going to be passed. That's going to cause the image to the beast to be formed. We're going to get the image of the beast soon enough. But let's look at this law first. So, to make an image to the beast is going to be through a law. Now, here is a very interesting article that was written in the New York Times. US and Vatican restore full ties after 170 years.
Wow.
So that's in 1984. That's when this was fulfilled. The United States and the Vatican established full diplomatic relationships today for the first time in 170 years. So from about 1867 up until the time 1984, the US and the Vatican had no ambassadorial relationship. Friends, are you following me? And Congress passed a law that rescinded that ban that prevented the Vatican and the United States of America from having an ambassadorial relationship. So Congress spoke, and in doing so it caused forming a relationship between church and
State.
So let's go back. Saying to them that dwell on the earth, the United States of America, that they should make a what? Image to the beast. And we saw the beast was a system of church and state, yes?
Yes.
So the image of the beast is going to be a system of what? Church and state. Does that make sense, friends?
Yes.
The beast was a system of church and state. The papacy is both a what? Ecclesiastical power, but also what? Political power.
Amen.
A church and a state.
Yes.
The Pope has authority on both sides. He's the head of a state called the Holy See, but he's also what? He's also the head of the church as the Pope.
Yes.
So the papacy, the beast, is a church-state system. So follow me now. This is saying, as it says here, saying to them, a law mean law, saying, a nation speak by its law, say to them who, on the earth, US, they must make a what? Image to the beast. So they must make a law that will link back what? Church and state to when? Oh, together. Are you seeing that, friends?
Yes.
And that's exactly what happened, friends, in 1984. And here is he, William A. Wilson, the first US ambassador to the Vatican, is greeted by Pope John Paul at the Vatican in 1985, though the law was passed in 1984. President Ronald Reagan named Wilson as the first ambassador to the Vatican in 1984. Now, what I found interesting was this. This congressman here, Hollins, says, Senator Ernest Hollins, in the same New York Times article, written in 1984, says what? He said this is what he said. Senator Ernest Hollins, Democrat of South Carolina, and a candidate for his party's presidential nomination, said he would oppose elevating the special representative to the rank of ambassador. It is in violation of the and said Sabad. Was he right? Was in 1984 when the US made official ambassador relationship with the Vatican, was that an affront or violation of the First Amendment? Yes. Why? Congress shall make no law. So this senator saw the problems that was going to occur, and he said what? It's a bad one. President. What does a bad president mean? You start doing something that's going to what? Get worse as time goes on. Friends, are you following? Let's go on. So listen now. So what's image of the beast? Image of the beast, Great Controversy 445, represents that form of apostate Protestantism which will be developed when the Protestant churches shall seek the aid of civil power for the enforcement of her dogmas. So once this is state church in unity and working together, what are you seeing being formed? The what? Image of the beast. Are we getting that, friends?
Yes.
So once we see church and state working together, because Congress said there must be what? No law linking them. So once there's a law linking them that they're working together in law, that's a violation of the First Amendment of the United States of America,
Yes.
of the Bill of Rights. Are we clear on that?
Yes.
Let's go further now. Now I'm going to show you what this precedent that was started in 1984, how it has mushroomed over time, and what role of our presidents have played in it, and what role our president is playing and will play. Let's go there now. On March 7, 2006, the Bush administration put into law a new executive order that encouraged churches to incorporate with 501c3 status. This is the actual quotation from the executive order. I'm quoting now. Section 3. Responsibility of the Center for Faith-Based and Community Initiatives. In carrying out the purpose set forth in Section 2 of this order, the Center shall coordinate a comprehensive departmental effort to incorporate faith-based, those are churches, yes?
Yes.
And other community organizations in department programs and initiatives to the greatest extent possible. Do we appreciate what we just read a while ago?
Yes.
Through this executive order, they are making laws to link the what? The church with the state. See here? Coordinate a comprehensive department effort. Department of what? Which department is here? Department of the state to incorporate a faith-based initiative. Are you seeing it now, friends?
Yes.
In department programs and initiatives to the greatest extent possible. So they set up a system of state-church linkage, state-church union. Are we seeing it, friends? I know some of you guys sleeping. I know it's kind of heavy and intense, but we have to stay awake, man. This is important. Come, friends, let's shake ourselves. Let's shake off the drowsiness, man. Let's shake it off. It's important. We can't sleep now. Sleep time is gone a long time. That's where when men came in and planned all kind of stuff amongst us. But when men were sleeping, so no sleeping, man. Wake up. Understand the point that I mean. It's a very important point I'm making here. I'm saying from 1984, the breach was made in the wall of separation between church and state. When there was this ambassador relationship between the Vatican and the US. And it has been progressive. How progressive so? We're seeing it in several presidents. We're talking about President Bush here, the first Bush here. Pushing to incorporate church as 501c3 status. And I just read to you what that means. Coordinate a comprehensive departmental, that's a state department, effort to incorporate faith-based as a church and other community organizations in department, programs, and initiatives to the greatest extent possible. Are you seeing it now?
Yes.
So what was according to 1984 being pushed and being what? Reinforced now. So that was Bush, and there he signed it, and he realized that there are several different religious groups right there. There he signed it there. Alright? That's in 2006. Obama took the baton and ran with it. Obama administration have elevated the faith-based initiative to a new White House Office of Faith-Based Initiative and Neighborhood Partnerships. You got that, friends? So it's like a relay. One president run and said we're going to strengthen state-church relationship. Bush ran, finished his race. Obama came in and said, I'm going to what? Take the battle and do what? Run with it. But I'm going to elevate it from a faith-based initiative to a new White House Office of Faith-Based and Neighborhood Partnerships. And there he is. And we see again all these different ministers around him as he signed this into executive order to strengthen state-church relationship. You hear I keep saying state-church? State-church relationship. No. So there they are. They both signed off. So you have a state-church relationship being established. So here we are saying, this is what we're saying, our friends. So we're saying that these are the first three movements. Then the wound was healed, started in 1929. 1962, fire from heaven. We saw that with the Vatican II and ecumenism. Alright, and the false revival amongst the Protestant, or what they call it, the evangelical churches. 1984, the image of the beast started forming and it's been progressive. Not perfect as yet, but progressively forming. So this occur, and this occur, and this occur, not then.
Right.
Alright, let's go first now. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. Who is he here? Who is he here? No. He had power to give life to the image of the beast. He here is the one. US. The second beast. So the second beast had power. Now, I'm saying something I want us to appreciate. He had power. He never said the image of the beast is going to get life by speaking. The image of the beast is going to be formed by saying to them, speaking being a law. And we saw the law. Alright, friends, are you following me? Yeah. I know it's kind of intense, friends, but we have to stay with it, man. Come on, shake yourself alive, man. Come on. I know this is kind of unusual story, but we have to go through it together. So it's not a saying to them. It's a what? True what? He had power.
Give life.
Not that he spoke and gave life to the image of the beast. But he had what? Power to give life to the image of the beast. Are you seeing that, friends?
Amen.
And how the image of the beast had life? How do you know it had life? It will speak and cause. Well, it will speak and cause soon. But he in the United States of America had power to give life unto this church-state system or apostate Protestantism. Because the image of the beast is apostate Protestantism. When it started to see the aid of the civil power to fulfill its mandates. Are you following me, church?
Amen.
But it's going to get life through power, my brother. Not through speaking, meaning a law being passed. Friends, you got it? Friends, you got that? I want the church awake. Come on, brother. Shake yourself awake, man. We got to get it. We have to get this one. It's important. So let me say one more time. We have to get this point. The image of the beast was formed by saying to them, meaning that what? Laws will be passed to what? Bring up the separation between church and state. And we saw that from early as 1984. Have you seen that? And it's been progressive. But for the image to get power to speak is not by what? Not by law, but by what? Power. Are you seeing that, friends? Amen. So let's go now. So power to give life to the image of the beast. So how will the image of the beast gain life? Then came this man. 2016 presidential elections and Trump courting evangelicals. So he was trying to court evangelicals. He was running as a Republican in the Republican Party. Is that so? And that is supposed to be the conservative party. That's supposed to be the party that's with Christ and Christianity. Supposedly. Now, I'm not discussing politics. I'm just stating facts. Am I correct so far in terms of factual? Yes, it is. But he was going nowhere. He was getting nowhere with them. They didn't know who this man was. They didn't trust him. They didn't trust Trump. Until two men stepped in and decided to help him out. They came up with an idea for the evangelicals to have a meeting with Trump. And these are the two men, Bill Dallas and Ben Carson. Bill Dallas, and I'm reading, see here, this is not my words, I'm quoting from the Gospel Herald, June 21st, 2016. I'm quoting from there, not my word. Don't accuse me, please. Bill Dallas, head of the faith-based political non-profit United in Purpose, who co-organized the event along with Carson, told Fox News important issues to be ironed out were jobs, the economy, and a strong military and the Supreme Court picks. So he was struggling. And two men came forward and said, we're going to help you out. We're going to organize a meeting with youth president candidate Trump and the evangelical leaders of the largest churches. And you're going to win them over by telling them and answering their questions. So here's Bill Dallas. He's in charge of United in Purpose. Here's Dr. Ben Carson. This is what he says. People of faith can make a difference. If anybody is going to define the culture that we live in and the direction of the nation, it is us. Dr. Ben Carson, national chairman, My Faith Votes. So he was the chairman of the group named My Faith Votes. And here it is for you. Road to Majority, Washington DC 2016, Faith and Freedom. Evangelical leaders converse with Donald Trump, Ben Carson in New York about America. And there I'm giving the link. Now, no word of mine. This is factual. Let's deal with it. So they met, and he discussed with him, and he spoke to them, and he asked them a question. What was blocking the church leadership from openly endorsing Trump from their pulpits and their treasury? What was blocking them? The 501c3 silence in the churches. So understand, this is a brilliant plot the devil played. I'm going to see if you guys catch a plot. Pay attention, please. Let's watch what look at this course now. So the 501c3 was an amendment, they call it Johnson Amendment, that silenced the churches that was passed in 1984. No, this Johnson, Lyndon Johnson, was having some bad press by the churches. And he passed a law that attached certain restrictions on churches that are 501c3. Now when you're a church and you're a 501c3, it means that there are certain activities you can do where you're tax exempted. Are you following me so far? Everybody clear?
Amen.
Alright? So he put that in the ways and means bill to silence those churches. How? By putting in there, they couldn't speak for or against any political candidate. So they couldn't speak against it. So he silenced them effectively. You get that point first? Alright, follow me now. Now, 1954, Senator Lyndon Johnson slipped an amendment to the 501c3 Corporation on the end of the Ways and Means Bill, approving funds for use by not-for-profit agencies like churches. 501c3 Corporation, which some churches are, is a business corporation and an instrument of the government organized with the purpose of tax exemption. So if you are 501c3 and you're a church, you can't speak for religion and you can't speak, no, not religion, you can't speak for a political candidate and you can't speak against a political candidate. So that was his intention, to silence the churches. So, when a church accesses the 501c3 status, the church becomes controlled by a spirit of fear that if it doesn't toe the line with the IRS, it will lose its tax exempt status. So let's say they want to bring in some important goods and stuff like that. If you're a 501c3, you don't have to pay taxes on it. Are you following me?
Right.
But if you decide you want to start speaking politics from your pulpit, they can do what? Rescind your 501c3 and you have to pay taxes, and you pay taxes retroactively.
Wow.
So it silences the churches. They can't speak about political issues from the pulpit. They become a state church system. No. Understand the point I'm trying to say? When you have a state church system, who is in charge? The state or the church? State. State church system. Follow me now. State, because the 501c3 becomes a state church. So the church is now what? State church. Are you following me?
Yes.
Because the state now in control of what? Church. Because the church can't speak about any political issues from the pulpit. And there are certain restrictions on it because they're going to what? Yank their what? Tax exemption.
Yeah.
So the churches are now what? Lackeys to the state. It also prevents endorsement and campaigning for or against candidates from the pulpit. So, follow me carefully now. So when Trump met with them in New York in 2016, June 2016, the pastor said, candidate Trump, we would love to give you more support, but this prevented us. We can't endorse any campaigns or against any candidates from the pulpit. We can't do that. Because if they do that, they're going to do what? Do what? Yank or tax them because we're what? State church system. So I want you guys to realize what? The devil did something brilliant. He threw his net out under President Bush and Obama and called the churches as state church. You got that?
Yeah. So they're joining.
Because their plan was to what? Incorporate as much as possible what? The faith-based initiative.
Yes.
So just about every church now is what? Incorporated.
Yes.
So he has thrown it out and pulled them in as state church system. Listen carefully the first. Because they're going to be a change now. Follow me now. So he pulled them in. And they are saying, President, they're saying, candidate Trump, we can't support you. Because we are a state church and we can't give you no support from the pulpit. We're going to lose our 501c3. Donald Trump vows to totally destroy the Johnson Amendment that stops churches funding political parties. Independent.co.uk. That's not my word. That's fact. He did say that. Watch this now. Listen to this now. Exclusive. Donald Trump tells Brody, I want to give power back to the church. What did the Bible say? And he shall have what? Power to give what? Life unto the image of the church, the image of the beast.
Amen.
Look in your Bible again, man. Don't just listen, look in your Bible again. It's there.
Yes.
We just read that before. Don't miss it. Listen, look in the Bible. What's that what we said?
Yes.
So he had power to give what? Life to the image of the beast. What does Trump say he wants to do? Let's read it. Let's read it. Let's read it. Let's read it. In an exclusive interview with the Brodified, Donald Trump wants to see Christian pastors speak. What did the Bible say? The image going to get life to what? Speak and cause.
Fire.
So do we see here, friends, that the rocks are speaking out again?
Yes.
Listen up. In an exclusive interview with the Brodified, Donald Trump wants to see Christian pastors speak more boldly from the pulpit because as he sees it, the church has to have more power. That's his word, not mine. And the Bible said that's exactly what it was supposed to be. He had power to give life unto the beast. How you know the image of the beast have life? When it start to what? Speak. Not a quotation. Donald Trump, this is what he says. They have taken a lot of the power away from the church. I want to what? Give power back to the church. I want pastors and ministers to be able and get up and speak on behalf of Christianity. And they are afraid to do it right now because they don't want to lose their tax exempt status. We will take care of that. In quotations, not my word. Let's finish up first. I will take some questions afterwards. Trump to give evangelicals, I'm going to give churches their voice back. This is what he said at Newsmax. Addressing the 11th annual gathering of this Conservative Values Voter Summit in Washington, the GOP nominee said the first thing he would do, the what? First thing he would do what? Is to give what? Our churches there? No, I'm not saying this, I'm just telling you what he says. Let's see if he's intended to do it or he's doing it. Let's see. So they came and they blessed him. All these pastors came and they blessed him. And he was the official evangelical candidate. Bible pumping candidate. Man couldn't quote a Bible text who was never need for asking forgiveness. I'm not saying that. He said that. Let's just deal with it, friend. Don't accuse me. He said that. Didn't he say that?
Yes.
Yes, he said that. Let's just deal with it, friends. Don't look at me straight. He said that.
Yes.
I'm not talking politics. I'm just giving a prophecy. He said that. No. Exit poll. 2016 presidential race. White evangelical. Donald Trump 81%. Hillary Clinton 16%. White evangelical voters helped give Trump victory. So did they come true for him?
Yes.
Yes, he promised them. As I get in, I'm going to remove the Johnson Amendment. This amendment that's blocking you from supporting me and supporting political candidates. I'm going to remove it. I promise you that. That's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give you more power. I'm going to give back your voice back. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast would speak and cause. Is that biblical? Absolutely. So did he do that? Did he do that?
Yes.
Trump takes.
Power.
Why are you guys afraid to speak? Trump takes power. Washington Post. So he won. Trump takes power. The Bible says the image of the beast is going to speak on cause because it got what? Power. Not because a law is going to pass to give it power or to make it speak. It's going to speak because of what? Power given to it. We get that, friends?
Amen.
So this is what I'm trying to say to us. If we expect to see a law pass that will make the image of the beast start speaking, we'll make a mistake. It's going to speak because it got power. And in its speaking, apostate Protestant is going to push laws being passed. Look at that, friends?
Amen.
Alright, let's go further now. So, payback time now, payback time. So you won the election. May 4, 2017. This was an interesting time in my life. The week before that, after lunch at my church, I was walking with some of the brethren. And I was talking to two of them. And I said to both of them, you know, brothers and sisters, I've been studying this prophecy for a long while, and I think we're right there now. I'm expecting very soon that the president is going to use some power move to rescind the Johnson Amendment. I said that the week before this occurred. And I'll never forget it. I came from work, sat in front of the television, turned it on, and I went white. Because this is what I saw. On May 4, 2017, President Trump signed an executive order aimed at easing an IRS rule, the Johnson Amendment, limiting political activity of our religious organizations. He signed it in his promise to all these religious leaders. So he eases the restriction of the what? Johnson Amendment. So can they now be involved in politics more? Yes. So watch this now, friends. The devil pulled them in that state church system, but because he eased the Johnson Amendment, it becomes a what? Church-state system.
Amen.
You guys didn't get that?
Amen.
Yes,
You guys
sir.
didn't get that?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
You guys got that? You sure you got that?
Yes.
So the devil threw his net out and put him in a state church system. What his intention was always to switch over to a what? Church state. So if the churches can now speak and put their money and their mouth into politics, who is in charge? The state or the church? The church is going to be in charge. Because it's a church state system. So it switched from a state church system to a what? Church state system. So with the ease of the IRS enforcement of the Johnson Amendment, the switch is being made. Not fully made as yet. From a state church system to a what? Church state system, where the church will have ever increasing influence over the state.
Yes, sir.
And the Bible says for the Son law to pass, it needs to be a what? Church state system. We're there, friends. So, they come and tell me at the start, are they being proven true now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Made some very bold comments, didn't they?
Yes.
Are they being proven now?
Yes.
Oh, you better believe it.
Amen.
So we have turned the corner, friends. We're no longer under a state church system, but you know what? We're switching to a what? Church state system. Let's say that is true. Let's say, I'm saying that's true, but let's say it's true. Let's just say it's true. So, let's say it's true. So, Trump, this is May 3rd this year. So this was signed last year. Alright? Do you follow me, friends?
Yes.
May 4, 2017. They're going to strengthen the church state system now. Look how they're going to do. The next year, at the prayer breakfast, this is what they did. This is what Trump did. President Donald Trump announced Thursday, May 3rd, a new initiative that aims to give faith-based groups a stronger voice throughout the federal government and provide recommendations on administration policies. Trump will sign executive order of faith initiative. Deal with that, Adventists. Adventists, deal with that.
Yes, sir.
No, that's what he did. This passed, May 3rd. President Donald Trump announced Thursday, May 3rd, 2018, a new initiative that aims to give faith-based groups a stronger voice throughout the federal government and provide recommendations on administration policies. And he had power
Yes, sir.
to give life unto the image of the beast.
Yes, sir.
And it's not means by a law, it's the executive order. That's by his power. Executive orders are not laws. Not laws of the land. That's a what? By the power invested in the president.
Yes.
No, this is fascinating. Listen carefully. Stay together. President Trump shakes hands with Pastor Darrell Scott, co-founder of the New Spirit Revival Center, before Trump signs an executive order during an event in the Rose Garden Thursday. What kind of handshake is that? That's a Masonic handshake. So you're about to sign this power move executive order to give more power to the church over the state, and they ratified over a Masonic handshake. You guys not getting it. See the difference? That's a Masonic handshake if you have ever seen one. So the switch is making even more stronger now. We are now getting that one church-state system. Now this lady is a very interesting person. You know who that lady is? Paula White. You know who's Paula White?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Now let's see what Paula White is. Here's what Paula White says.
A church lady.
This order is a historic action, strengthening the relationship between faith and government in the United States. Whoa, stop. I thought the First Amendment to the Bill of Rights says Congress shall make no law. Nothing to link church and state. Am I mistaken, or that's what it says? But she said here what? This order is a historic action, strengthening the relationship between faith and government in the United States, and the product will be countless transformed lives. So we see what? Church and state are in bed. Evangelicals, as Paula White they're showing, and President Trump right here. I don't know how to use cartoons in my presentation, but when I saw this cartoon, I had to use it. Because it summarizes the whole lecture completely. It summarizes the lecture completely, friends. So it's no longer a state church, it's now what? Church-state system. So friends, here we are. Here we are, friends. Here we are. So we have the deadly wound is being healed, and fire is coming down from heaven, and they are made an image to the beast, and power is being given life to give life to the image of the beast. Are you following me now?
Amen.
You see the and now?
Yes.
Because they're all occurring together.
Yes.
Not then, they're all occurring together.
Yes.
That's why the final movements shall be rapid ones. You see the reason why they're not rapid ones? Because they're all running together.
Amen.
And they're all in their perfection at what? National Standard. So, wrapping up now. I've done another 5-10 minutes on wrapping up. Revelation 13:15 says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should what? Both what? Speak and call. So follow me now. The power is given to, he had power to give life to the image of the beast, and then the image of the beast is going to speak and cause. So it's going to be a true what? Power decision. But that power here is going to cause the image now, or apostate Protestantism, this church-state system to do what? Start to what? Speak. And all does speak? To what? Laws! So, image, speak and cause. So speak, the image of the beast, apostate Protestantism being able to influence the legislative process. Wasn't that what Trump said he wants to do?
Yes.
Wasn't that what Paula White says which is going to happen?
Yes.
Oh yes, they said it, it's not me, they said it.
Yes.
So, the image of the beast, apostate Protestantism being able to influence the legislative process, making up laws, the passing of the national standard. This is exactly what's going to happen very soon. Cause. So you speak and cause. Image of the beast, apostate Protestantism will be able to what? Influence enforcement of laws. Enforcement of national standard law.
Amen.
That is what is coming next, brothers and sisters.
Yes, sir.
But I'm going to give us a little wake-up call right now. The Lord is very good. I want to show you who the Lord is. You see all this going on in political confusion right now? The Lord is giving us time. You guys didn't get that?
Yes.
All this going on in the political confusion right now with President Trump, the Lord is giving us time. Time how? Listen carefully. Last events, page 129, 4th paragraph says, Satan puts his interpretation upon events. And they think, these are all the legislators and the judges, as you would have them, that the calamities which fill the land are a result of Sunday breaking. Thinking to appease the wrath of God, these influential men, the Congress, make laws enforcing what? Sunday observance. So what going to drive them to make these laws? Calamities. Is that so?
Yeah.
Alright. Hear what our president has said. Trump says it would be a hard to unify country without a major event. This is what he said, This January this year he said this. PBS NewsHour. I would love to be able to bring back our country into a great form of unity, Trump said. Without a major event where people pull together That's hard to do. But I would like to do it without that major event, because usually that major event is not a good thing.
Yes, sir. I love it. Right before I was right before.
Do you understand why I say I must preach His word?
Yeah.
Yes.
Not because I want to, because I have to. I'm compelled.
Yeah.
Do you understand the reason why now?
Yes.
So He's saying, He likes to bring the country back together, but what's going to take? Some major event.
Yes.
And the spirit of prophecy says what? Calamities is going to be the driving force for the people to say we need to get back to God. Friends, I'm not a person who set time, but I will say this to you. The events will speak for themselves. There are calamities about to happen. Some of them are going to be man-made calamities. And he's right. This United States of America only come together doing calamities. And the church of the country has never been more divided now than ever before. There's something called false flags. And false flags is when a country flies another country's flag on its ship and attacks its own ship. Friends, are you understand what I'm saying to you? He says he's going to take someone. Major disaster is going to happen. He says that. Now I'm wrapping up now. If the people can be led to favor Sunday law, then the clergy intend to exert their united influence to obtain a what? Who's going to push for the religious amendment? The what? The clergy. So what we're going on in a church-state system, who are going to be the one with a church in charge of the state is going to push for legislation to change the First Amendment? The clergy. Then, if the people can be led to favor Sunday law, then the clergy to exert their united influence to what? Obtain a religious amendment to the Constitution. Which amendment? To the First Amendment. Because he's the one that's a religious amendment. It's a religious amendment. So when all these calamities going on, and the people coming together and say, oh, we need to go back to God. And the pastor say, yes. And we know our power. Because we are a church-state system. And they're going to force and press the what? Congress to amend the what? First Amendment. So it's not going to be no law anymore. It's very likely it's going to be Congress shall make no law favoring one church over another. So you can make a law that will affect all churches. So you say, all churches must keep Sunday. Does it affect all churches? Yes. Yes, it does. Christ says all churches. But which church is going to be left out of it? Seventh-day Adventists. And that's where we are right now, friends. We're just about to get there. And I'm convinced of that, friends. As I was saying to Ella too, I will preach over 80 sermons for this year. I'm spent, I'm tired, but I have to preach it.
Amen.
I'm tired. I've been sick now for about 4 weeks. Ella too know that. He came to me and asked me today, how you feeling? I'm still coughing sometimes, I'm congested. But I have to preach it.
Amen.
No blood must be on my shoulder, friends. I'll pour myself out like a drink offering. I will, and I want to, gladly. But what are you going to do with what you have heard this evening, friends? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Can you be the same?
No.
Come on, can you be the same?
No.
We're far ahead in the prophecy, friends. The speaking of the nation is the action of its legislative and what? Judicial authorities. Great Controversies 442, first paragraph. So, friends, when we talk about Brett Kavanaugh, the long discussion about if he molested a woman, that's not the issue. Here's the issue, friends. With him not being a part of the Supreme Court, we know what one. He's a Catholic. Clarence Thomas is a Catholic. John Roberts is a Catholic. Samuel Alito is a Catholic. Sonia Sotomayor is a Catholic. And Jill Narships was raised a Catholic. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Catholics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Catholics. So we are watching these things on TV and missing the point. The issue was not about whether a Kavanaugh molested women or not. That's not the issue. The issue is that one more Catholic was going to go on to the what? The Supreme Court.
Mercy.
And we miss the point completely. And I'm saying, wake up, church! My heart pleading as a church, look at what's going on. And we get caught up and we say this and we say, oh, we watch it, and we miss the point. Because we're sleeping. Lord help us, please Lord help us. We miss the point. Prophecy fulfilling right in front of our eyes. And we're getting caught up about whether it's honest woman or not. No! I watch it, but I wasn't watching as other people. I was watching because I was counting the number of Supreme Court nominees who are Catholics. No, confirmed. These are not nominees, confirmed. See friends here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Mercy.
See? Out of the 9, 6. So who is the majority with? With the Catholics. 6 out of 9. And we're getting lost in all kind of dancing with the stars and all kind of rubbish. Rubbish in the church, and we're wasting time with women ordination, all these rubbish issues. Missing the point. Missing the point, Virgin. Wrapping up now. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and born to receive a mark in his right and in his forehead. What's this mark? Sundays are a mark of authority, not my word. The Catholic Record, London, Ontario, Canada, September 1st, 1923. And they never retracted this. They never retracted that. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that have the mark, or the name, or the beast, or the number of his name. Revelation 13, verse 17. So friends, what have we seen so far? Let's just summarize quickly. So we see here, friends, that there are 15 hands in Revelation chapter 13 from verse 11 to 18. No then. Here it is, friends. And the dead one is being healed. And fire is coming from heaven. And the image of the beast is formed already. And his power is being given to life in the image of the beast. And the image of the beast will speak and cause. And then the Son of God will pass. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reach a perfect fulfillment right there. And that's why the final movement shall be what? Rapid one, because they're all in what? Fulfillment. Is it straightforward and simple right now, friends? Is it so simple? Isn't it simple now? Simple as ever now. So what have we learned about these movements? They are successive. They are progressive. They are correlative. They are diminutive. They're getting smaller. And they are perfective. They perfect the national son of God. Friends, let's wrap it up now. Here is wisdom. Let it not count the number of the beast, the number of a man. His number is 603 square and 6. I will know this, friends. Vicarious Philadelphia. Yes?
Yes.
Vicarious Philadelphia. You remember numerally add them up, you get 666. It identifies the papacy. Friends, here's my second to last slide. Here it is, friends. Turning to the message continues by saying, here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. Now here's my challenge to us, brothers and sisters. Here's my challenge. Jude 1 verse 3. Just at the start of the ending, just at the start of this morning, we're going to end the same way. Beloved, beloved, new life, my beloved, new life. When I gave out diligence to write unto you of the common salvation, it was needful for me to write unto you and exhort you that. So new life, I spent 2 sermons exhorting you. Exhorting to what extent? You should earnestly contend for the faith which was once delivered unto the saints. I've given you historical Adventism. I've given you biblical exegesis. I've tried by God's grace to interpret the times as in the present. I've given you the words and the statements of the very persons fulfilling the message. Now, I'm going to ask a question. The Spirit of the bride says, come. Revelation 22 verse 17. And he who hears needs to come. Now Lord, what appeal must I make to sever the Adventists? I really don't know what appeal to make. I really don't know. But let's ask you a question. No appeal. I won't even make an appeal, really. Just ask you a question. Do you believe what you have heard?
Yes.
Can you be the same?
No.
Shall we pray? Shall we?